I'm Carl. I quit my job 2 months ago to start my own freelance business, which I'm calling CarlWorks. Thank you. I live and work in Cleveland, Ohio. You might have recently heard of us from, it's off 15 seconds. How about that? You might have recently heard of us from our sports and our RNC. Anyways, I'm here today to talk to you about a topic that I'm particularly passionate about, and that's community. The impacts that we can have on communities and the impacts that our communities can have on us. And now it's staying on the same slide for 30 seconds. This is amazing. Anyways, so who here considers themselves as having a career in tech? Just raise your hands. Yeah? Who here considers themselves a member of a tech community? Cool. I've kind of been traversing that landscape as an organizer, a leader, and a member of many communities for the past couple of years, and I'm just going to share a few points that I've learned over the past few years. I'll start with an example of a community that I love in Cleveland. It's the kind of community that works to shape the economy in which we live. This is a Cleveland Give Camp. Every year, over 250 designers, developers, PMs, and volunteers descend upon a floating office barge in Lake Erie to work for nonprofits. They spend an entire weekend delivering technical value to these non-technical nonprofits. These are a couple that I've worked with: Heights Arts, Lake Erie Inc., building digital literacy and in teens, and the last one is gone. Oh, goodness me. Anyways, I just wanted to say, it's not necessarily your technical ability that makes your ability to deliver value to these organizations. It's your ability to create and to organize. You have 3 days to deliver a sustainable solution to these organizations and hand it off to them. So anyways, here's a couple of examples of organizations that you can dig into locally or anywhere to discover organizations that are working to shape their local economies. This is another one that's kind of shaped really my life for the past 3 years. This is the Startup Bus. I recognize plenty of faces from my experience there. So the Startup Bus bills itself as the most difficult hackathon across 4 continents. I say across because it takes place on a moving bus. Wow. Those are people on a bus. It takes place on a moving bus packed with 30 amazing individuals, all working to build scalable tech-based businesses and present them over the course of over 3 days. So that's me last year. I've spent the first 6 months of this year sacrificing my health and sanity as the national director of this organization. And it's fair to say that the Startup Bus experience will push you beyond your limits and show you how capable you truly are. The other thing I love about the Startup Bus is the relationships that it builds. People think I'm crazy when I talk about my 22 best friends from Kansas City, but here's 2 of them that drove up just this weekend to watch Game 7 of the World Series with me. Startup Bus also is global. It's a massive organization. This is from a trip I took back in March to interface with our community down there in Mexico City. That's Benjamin. Marion, you know Benjamin. Yeah. Benjamin's pretty cool. Anyways, to get the most out of this hackathon community, you've got to be passionate and you've got to be open and you got to be prepared to be out of your comfort zone for a long period of time. Technical ability comes second to things like empathy and leadership and ability to communicate. To call it transformative for its participants, I think, is an understatement, at least for me, and I highly encourage you to check it out. It's also the reason I'm here today. I met Nate Cooper through the Startup Bus 2 years ago, and he asked me to come speak at Reboot. And now for the last community I want to talk about is the community that's being formed here today. We're a group of people from all over the place, and we've come to take part of this thing called Reboot that has now been meeting for 4 years. Congratulations, Nate. 4 years. And it's also undergoing a little bit of an evolutionary change at the moment to something bigger and something greater. The best way that we can help out this Reboot community is to keep the momentum going as we leave from this room today. I want to just challenge you all. By the time you leave here today, have a meeting scheduled with someone that you did not know before you came here this morning. Talk about what you're passionate about. Talk about work. Talk about your interests. Whatever. Go bowling. Just having those conversations and experiences are what community is all about. And the best way that you can position this for a future impact is to share those and learn from each other. I'm Carl. Thank you.